Hello, everybody. Welcome to my dining room. I am Matthew, aka Dark Sheep, and joining me this evening, is my old friend, and by old I mean about a year old friend, Shane Newman, who is muted.
You told me you were gonna do a thing, so I'm finishing up. I'm trying to find a dinger. So I'm on a laptop. I'm on a desktop trying to search through the drafts of my slows, trying to find the live one so I could pull it up on the side monitor, and it is impossible.
Okay.
Oh,
All right.
finally, I found it. But yeah, I joined a dinger, and I was late by 2 rounds. We're in round 18, so
Okay.
it was a tough beat by me.
Well, you'd think with all the Bad Bro streaming that you do now, you'd be a little more. You'd have that all timed out better.
I'm gonna blame Paul because all of a sudden he puts on there like 6 more, and I'm like, I don't wanna, but you sent out the bat signal, so you know what I mean? Like,
Can't ignore it.
exactly. So I joined it. Next thing you know, it just snap filled. But I love the hoodie. That is awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I got that, I think, for my birthday last year. All
Yeah,
right.
that is fire.
So, for those who don't know, Shane, who are you?
What's good, everybody? Yeah. Shane Newman. I think we streamed once last year. You joined me. We did one last spring. I'm pretty sure.
I think we did 3. We did 3 on this channel if you go back in time.
Okay, so it's been so many streams in between that it's just been a blur. But after that, yeah, I hooked up with fellow grinders in the Underdog streets, Roto Run, which is John Warner, and then Nez, which is AJ Nesbitt, and we've made a little group, and we're the Badge Bros. We stream every single day, just Underdog content. BRs, now it's turned into MLB because that's where we just started it. But yeah, actually, if you go back and look at our first stream, it is the most just chaotic from what the production John does now, the most chaotic mess of a thing. We're talking about an August 30th like baseball slate. it's just an hour of talking like that, and us just going, oh, it's hilarious to go watch that first one compared to now. But yeah, we started in the baseball roots. We transitioned to the people's sport of NFL, and did all the dailies there, and the dailies took off, as you saw. I mean, we were getting last year, I don't even remember the biggest contest, but we're getting 25K at one point to first. And so we decided to do that. And then all of a sudden we've been doing hoops and stuff. And now we're transitioning back into the God's game, the greatest game on earth, which is baseball.
Yes.
You already know, for anyone that doesn't know, I'm deep in these weeds. I've already been drafting. I've maxed the bullpen, the previous one. So, and we're already on these. So yeah, I know that was a long-winded thing, but yeah, I'm from Minnesota. So you'll hear probably a bunch of, I'm zoomed in. You got a Byron Buxton, Dante Culpepper, Moss. If you don't follow me already or know, I know Shocked in Minnesota, you already know that I'm bringing it home, the roots. But yeah, we met up this fall, or like kind of like
summer.
That midsummer. It was like late summer. We went to a brewery that ended up having what concert was it?
I don't remember. We were trying to go to Surly Brewing.
We went to Surly Brewing, and there was a famous concert. Do you know what it was? Was it like, it wasn't, man, it was Trampled by Turtles, was it? Or something?
That's what I thought. Maybe that sounds familiar.
It was something famous, and we're like, oh, well, we can't go there because it's over. So we went to this little another like microbrewery and had ourselves. We just talked basically baseball and hung out for an hour as you got away and enjoyed. I think the Brewers were at the so you just went and enjoyed that. But.
Yeah, and then a few days later, I tested positive for COVID. So thanks a lot.
It's a good, that's hilarious. That's hilarious as that happened. The funny thing is you said it, and I'm like, well, the good thing is I already had it, but it was way past when. So it's just like, I'm like, I don't know how that, that's we still don't know how, if you're going to get it again and all that. So I'm just like, yeah, I ended up taking it and it didn't happen. But yeah, that's hilarious. You're just like, oh, by the way, I tested positive. I'm like, well, that's unfortunate, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I blame the lack of a roof at the Twin Stadium, and getting
Shouldn't that be better? Wouldn't that be better? It wouldn't
no, because
contain it all.
we had 3 in-game rain delays the first game we went to.
Oh yeah.
We were
That's
jacked up in
That's right. You were
the upper stands, just under where there was roof altogether.
Yeah.
Hey, we got a fellow Midwesterner here, Ben.
Ooh, let's go. Love that. Yeah,
All
Surly's real big. Love that. So yeah, this is gonna be great. I mean, I'll let you get into it, but these contests and everything is more than we honestly could have imagined.
Let's do it. Let's show it. Yeah. So we got today.
It's Christmas, honestly. Like Merry Christmas, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So I was in training today for work when this dropped. So we have two brand new contests. So where do you want to start? Should we start with the big one? Talk about the big one first?
Yeah, I suppose we can get into the other one after.
So the Dinger is not technically, it is the biggest contest probably that we're going to see this season. It has been the big contest the last 2 years also. But it's even bigger this year with a couple of like key differences. So, I mean, the first one is the huge, well, not huge compared to football, but huge to what we've had in the past, but the 100K to first prize and, the size. But the last 2 years, this contest was a $25 entry as opposed to the $10 entry. And I think that's awesome. I've seen no one say that, oh, I wish I could spend $25 to enter this so far.
I'm trying to find here which is really fun. So it's basically we 5x'd last year in the terms of prize pool. It was 100K prize pool. We went up to 500K.
Okay. I wasn't sure of that number.
Yeah, so I'm trying to get that here to see, and then we can get into like nitty gritty in that. But I think the thing that is just that is. I don't know if it's too early to jump into it. I'll wait until we get into that to jump into I should just write this down before I forget. But obviously, the talking point is the money, and then we went from 4,500 entrants to 56,000.
Wait,
the Dinger was only 4,500. People. So that's one thing. I guess we'll put that on the back burner. Remind me, we'll come back up maybe when we might have another lad join us here. He said,
yeah,
there's something to ask maybe him, and then we can discuss too is how much of this data is interesting, and now we pull it over, and do we have to? And obviously we small sample and all that, but that is a giant gap. I was trying to see maybe it would be more because we don't have bunt. You know what I mean? We don't have the bunt, and the bunt was last year was only 11,000. So like we jumped up.
Yeah. So basically, they've taken the $25 tournament and the $5 tournament and combined. Yeah. Well, they ran two $5 tournaments based on how fast the first one filled last year. So they basically combined all of those into this one.
Yeah.
And brought down the price to like a midpoint. And then I think, so Fantasy Sports Dave, the Dinger is essentially
it
is the big guy. It
was the $25 last year. So like it was the last year, and I guess we'll have to put into asterisks is they released it so late because of the lockout. Like last year was just a unique year in the terms of them they just the leeway that they had. So the way that this is filling already in one day, I know it's like the hype, it could die down, but I mean, 1.5, I mean, to be honest with you, we're still how many days out from spring training and how many days out from the regular season? Like if this thing gets steamed and it keeps getting steamed and like the content keeps getting pushed for it, there could be technically maybe a smaller one, or they could just say, you know what, like it's already, the demand is there. The $10 price point is beautiful. I don't know about you, but the $25, you know what I mean? Like the $25 for BBM is more realistic to max, because you're like, okay, look at what I can get, 2 million, this or that. In the MLB, it was like, okay, if you don't get like fifth, you're immediately losing money or something like that. If you max this $10 price point makes it so much more easy. just easier to max and more just enjoyable.
Right.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, last year I didn't do any $25 because I just wanted to draft.
I feel
Because
that. Yeah.
let me do the $5. I get more drafts in. I have part of the or most of the fun is in the draft for me. So why not maximize that value? And like the actual chance of winning is close to zero. So why not enjoy the first part of it?
Yeah, we realized the things that we're debating and talking about here is we're just doing it because we got nothing better to do. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
like
it's winter in the Midwest. We don't have anything better to do.
yeah, we're getting. I just literally got a thing from my that says we have a freeze warning again. I'm like, oh great, this is great. We just got it all melted, and here it's come to freeze again. So
yeah. So without going too in the first stream I did, I kind of went over scoring. So we're not going to jump into that. But we're going to talk about quick the advanced structure on this guy. And
I'll bring up the bullpen for you so we can just quickly jump back and forth. Because I'm assuming you kind of covered that, the bullpen advanced structures.
Yeah. Oh, maybe we should get in. We're looking for while we talk about this. Nez is looking for 9 more, so I'll join
Roger
a dinger here, and
they're filling fast. I know
7 people.
I know that's we're definitely going to jump in, but man, have they just been really filling.
Yeah, so I haven't had enough time to really think through the changes, but we'll describe the changes. So in this case, it is the top 2 advance, which is different than the bullpen, which was the first contest, was the top 3. And that's how I think all the tournaments last year were the same. And then from there, it's 12-person group, 12-person group, 12-person group, top 2 all the way into a pretty big final group.
And what I'll say for the bullpen is a little different in its 12-person group round 1, 12-person group round 2, 6-person group round 3.
Yeah.
And then a 79 person final. So very much like smaller person.
Yeah, I think when I was compiling all of the final rosters for all 3 tournaments last year, there was only, if you combined all 3 final groups of the tournaments, it was that was only 163 people between the 3. So this is 100 more than even that, combining all of them. So there's definitely some there's definitely some stuff to talk about as we get deeper into it. Probably not tonight, but as far as
that's crazy.
Strategies you want to do for this.
Dinger last year was 47. That's cool that they have all of the past tournaments still on that. If you click on the rules list, and they have all of the past tournaments down there, which is really
I don't
fun.
know how long those will last, but you definitely.
I hope for it ends up just being like they just kind of shrink it and you can just kind of sort. It would be nice to be able to have all that information. I would advise them to keep that. That's very handy.
Yeah. So the other thing, 0 pitchers, the strat. No, we'll get in. I don't know what we'll talk about. We're just sort of not prepped. We just kind of do this together.
We're hopped on. We were going to draft tonight anyway, so might as well stream, right?
Right. Exactly. Well, I was going to stream, but I didn't know if we were going to have a contest, so I didn't really prep much.
That's fair.
But we're waiting for one more. But while we wait, the other thing that I think is really awesome with what they did is they put these warm-up contests together. So this is a 9,360 person tournament, but it's only a 10 max and $3 entry. So this is like the perfect thing for learning the format. Like I can't think of if you didn't do any of the $5 drafts before, like this is perfect for starting. Man, Blitzology is just in here dropping bombs.
I agree, but I mean,
Euro pitcher, yeah. So yeah,
On the sandy part, at least.
yeah, and there's still a good first prize here. I don't actually know how this is structured. I didn't join any of these yet.
Yeah, I was looking at that one as we were going. It's a little different, as you can see there. It's just I mean, I don't know how much you can in terms of strategy when it goes 12-10, 12-78. You know what I mean? The
Yeah.
difference in 12-10. I don't know. I guess we can have baseball do a deep dive later of how big that. Yeah, it seems minimal in terms of that, but the $3 price point is beautiful. I've already seen a bunch of people that are like, "Oh, yo, this is my first contest. I think he tagged
Yep.
you," and it was like my first one, the warm up. I mean, that's just beautiful, beautiful thing. Once you get your water, once you do one, it's like, well, I've done a couple of these threes. Let me hop into 10. Like, and
Right.
the jump isn't 3 to 25, which again, it's awesome.
Yeah, or if you just want to wait for the next $3 to open, because I'm sure there'll be a few of them as we go.
Yeah, what is that already full? I know it was like, or I can look too. You're in here, but it was 11 and
we are on the clock.
that's hilarious.
Nez gets us before. I gotta go. I haven't done it.
Yeah, I like that.
I'm gonna go Jordan. He's been my guy here, along with Acuna and Trout. You can get bets later, but yeah, we're gonna start with Jordan. Probably
Fine
my favorite start.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I've adopted your strat, and I don't know if it's right or wrong, but it's just like I feel like all of these, a lot of these guys are good, are still worthy of a first round pick, whether we want to say Julio isn't first round or not. Like obviously, of all the first round, I'm going to have less. No first or second round, really. I'm really fading 100%. Like if I have my spike week exposure tool, and I'm looking at like just in terms of ADP and seeing like the lowest guy I have right now in terms of that is just, it's basically infield, which is Freddie Freeman, and then like a Sandy Alcantara. That's basically that. Otherwise, I've been trying to at least get exposure to him and get combos, because it's like I just don't want to have nothing. I don't want to be zero exposed to these top studs. Like these aren't the guys I want to make my full fades on.
Yep. Yeah.
So like you said, like I have my preferred starts. I agree. Right now, my favorite is just betting on my favorite player in baseball, which is a lot of people's Mike Trout. I love Trout. You can't knock on an Aaron Judge, Juan Soto. Those feel amazing to click. As bad as it does, or it seems as bad as it seems, like I still like to get my Vlad and Jose Ramirez exposure and Trey Turner at the back end. I think that's fine.
Yeah.
But I agree. Jordan just seems like these getting an outfielder in round one is really fun. It makes the draft seem like it's easier to navigate, because then you don't get the dead zone immediately.
Yep, exactly.
And then by dead zone, I mean just everyone taking an outfielder.
Right. Hold on here. I'm trying to adjust the screen. There we go. All right. So yeah, as you can see, outfield. Have you thought at all? Noah was debating here between Julio or Ohtani. Those are probably guys I'm the lowest on in the first round, but I don't want none of them.
Yeah. So again, I wasn't looking at the tool when I started drafting. Like I didn't have much Ohtani. So my lightest like 10, 15 slows, I just smashed Ohtani in the first round and kind of got that exposure back up. I think that was naturally just like he was right by Trout. So I was just taking Trout.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't thought at all about going from the other contest to this one. Do you think you're going to start over with your player exposures in your mind, or are you just going to keep?
Yeah.
I don't know that there's a right answer or whatever. If you had thought about it at all.
I have because like each contest is its own exposure. I kind of don't want to treat it like, I have so much like in my overall portfolio. Like I think I'll manage, like once I get to a certain weight, maybe in the overall portfolio, I'll kind of be like, okay, like for a Byron Buxton, like I maybe won't go even heavier on this contest. I think I'll just pay attention to guys that I have. We're up here. So what do you normally do in this spot?
All right. So I don't take Sandy.
Neither do I.
Um,
Yeah, I normally take one of
right,
these guys, or sometimes I force myself to get weird with an outfielder I don't normally take. But
yeah,
to be honest, it's
I
normally DeGrom. It's normally for me, it's DeGrom. I know that's not your cup of tea, but that's mine. But I love the Riley and Olsen. They're
yeah,
safe picks.
yeah. I've been getting maybe too much Riley and ignoring Devers, and Bo.
Yeah, I feel
Again,
that.
these are guys that all have like tremendous upside, but also probably aren't going to kill you. I know,
Mhm.
um, you can probably make an argument for one of them, but I have a hard time just like taking one and saying that's the guy I need in every lineup. But right now, I don't have any projections. I haven't done any rankings. I'm just have right now. Everything is straight ADP.
Yeah, that's how I've been doing it. You know, but in terms of like the exposures, just I won't really worry about it too much. I'll just basically I'll use the tool that Spike Week has where you can see your average ADP, you can see where they're at in the contest. And like if I have a guy that I have relatively quite a bit of at a lower ADP, I won't like just continue to smash them at a higher one, albeit it's a new contest, so it really doesn't matter. You're not competing against those teams. Like I'll just kind of be at weight, you know what I mean? I won't get. I'll be kind of mindful of that. Otherwise, I don't think it. I'm not going to have it into play too much. I think it's just a risk tolerance thing when it comes into how much you want to be overweight to them in your total exposure versus contest specific. Oh, Nev's doing us a favor there.
He's going to take the Sandy fall. I Man, it's hard to not put Matt
No, you can do
Olson
it. Don't
with
get me
Austin
wrong.
Riley
We
here,
can do Matt Olson there.
but
That's a beautiful start.
this is going to set us up for, um, really trying to get an outfielder and our pitcher the next time around.
Yeah. I
So when it
I
comes
would
around
that,
here,
that definitely makes sense. That's the more optimal way I think is to draft. I need to get back into that because once doing 150, I got to the point where I was just willy nilly, just trying to do strats and do different things and whatnot. So I need to get back into that mindful. That's definitely the way to do it. Um,
yeah. So Blitzology here's calling out if you
oh yeah,
convert the season long fan projections from the bat that are free on Fangraphs. The top 10 is Judge, then Trout, and
yep,
Trout. It's basically a like full season for Trout is how he's projected, and just the skills are there. So
yeah.
yeah.
I will say that's also free on Baseball Sheet. Free
Oh
sheet
yes,
provided by Baseball that has even with the ADP, everything, ADP trends, how it's working, even more in depth. That's what I've been checking out too. And yeah, that's the same. Um, yeah, for me, I told you, and I don't know if it's right or wrong. Maybe it's a fool's thing. I know there's still slight tweaks. I don't know the changes won't be drastic at all. But in terms of how far I was in that contest, I literally we didn't have the bat, for what half the contest.
yeah,
We didn't have it, so I just ended up still using just the ADP and kind of going off that and using and trends like that. So obviously, I looked at the bat and was knowledgeable of it, but I wasn't being like be all gospel. But yeah, I need to. I want to get it loaded in, and then obviously adjust my own rankings kind of manually in terms of ADP. Because if you load
yeah,
it straight in, there's some pretty drastic changes. Like the pitchers are way down there,
yeah. That's
which
I
makes
did a
sense.
lot. I did a lot of that first contest just based on projections. Hey, what's up? Woo J Train, welcome, welcome. I
Yep.
did that first contest a lot based on just projections, and now, um, once I go and set some rankings for this, maybe this weekend or next week, or I don't know when I'm going to get around to it. But when I want it for the bulk of the drafting, I want to do a little more diving on individual players, like start with the projections, and then
Yeah.
just think more about the playing time that is going into where those numbers are coming out at. So because like
Yeah.
um,
That makes a lot of sense.
152 games for prime Trout is he's going to be an awesome scorer. But even then, like Your guy Buxton, I have like none of, just as a where he's going compared to his projection. So I need to do a better adjustment on that.
Yeah, it's. I used the quote today where it's like, or the terminology. I think it's comparable. It's just to where you have inputs and projections, and then you can do the little bro science afterwards. Where it's NBA. If you give a guy 25 minutes and it's like, okay, he's like, okay, he's borderline like getting there in 25, but like there's the occasional time where he gets that extra 6, and if he gets that extra 6, he absolutely smashes. Translated over to baseball, there's that extra chance where he just doesn't get hurt for those 2 extra stints or that big stint, and he gets those extra at bats, then he does smash. And you can use that for anyone's case that has that fragile or that fragile. So like in Trout's case, they're projecting him 152. Like, so in like, you know what I mean? Like if he does do anything like less than that, then obviously he's going to underperform that projection. So just realizing that it's really good to know. Like they have Jordan at 132 games, 139 games in the bat right now. You know what I mean? Like if they had him at the 140 mark, 140, or sorry, at the 150 mark, like does that move him up from the 12 rank to in the 7 or 8s? You know what I mean? So just understanding those inputs, like you said, are really, really important.
Yeah. Hello, Joka. Welcome.
What's good?
Before we pop off this rankings, the other thing, so we talked a lot about outfield first, importance of outfield, but there's occasionally a few drafts that you can get 2 of these infielders at the turn together, and I think that's like, if I'm going to go a fragile infield build, I just wait for that draft, and then I do that based on those guys. All right, we are up here. All right, we are going to take...
Yeah, Woodruff for sure. We need pitching.
We're going to take... Oh, man.
So, yeah, I guess, I mean, Woodruff is one I mean, you could... McClanahan, you know what I mean? But for me, and I think for you, it's Woodruff. So.
Yeah, I'm doing this just for the bit. Since I'm wearing the Brewers shirt, I do have a lot of Woodruff.
I have a lot of them,
but I don't think you can go wrong in this pitching area. And let's see, it's surprising to me that all of these outfielders are here.
So if I look at pitcher, I'm trying to find Woodruff. It's gonna be a little tough. Or maybe I can do a name. Woodruff, so 14%. I mean, that's pretty. I mean, I feel like that's at field. I don't know what would be at field, like if you maxed. I don't know what would be for average. I don't know what would be like an average exposure. I don't know what would be overweight or underweight. I don't know what
8% of a guy that's drafted in every draft.
Okay, right? So yeah, 14%. So that would be overweight, or slightly overweight. So or overweight. I don't know how you want to term it.
All right, so
he didn't even give me the chance to like throw it out there.
We're gonna have both of our guys.
No, we're good.
But
so I think we get another pitcher. For me, we can do another outfielder. I'll just say I like Frammer and Luis or McClanahan.
I can't pass up this value on Shane.
I can't.
He doesn't
either. That's
usually
I didn't know if you had a bias towards him or not, but I like him a lot.
He's an excellent pitcher. The question there is injury. 100%. Last year he had some shoulder stuff. He went out. He came back. He still didn't look great. But this is a sort of a scenario where he's falling enough that you're not ever going to really get him like that. So
yeah, and my stance towards injuries and all that players. I'll just lean in. Lean in.
Yeah, and I will lean away normally, but here we go. I would have been fine with any of these pitchers again. I think Luis Castillo is an awesome value right now.
Yeah, I think there was a stat, and I need to get better at like looking at something and being like, oh, that. But I bet and I think Scam also brought Scam Newton in our chat. I think like people underestimate how hard it is to pitch in Great American Ballpark. And then basically it's like it's the second thing of Coors. Basically, there's Coors in the Great American Ballpark. And it's like getting out of there and then going to Seattle is a big benefit for him. and getting a full year of that and everything. Yeah, I like Castillo. I'm all aboard.
Yeah, and here's the other thing is he has. Oh, where is he?
He's gone.
Oh, he's gone.
That's where he is. and then
But
we can't click
he's
him.
not
which
a,
sucks.
he's always healthy, or he has been the last 2 years for the most part.
And wasn't that the knock on him at one point? Like, can he be healthy? Like,
Well,
wasn't that his
no,
knock?
it was he
Or his
couldn't pitch in
control?
the heat. He couldn't pitch in the heat.
Oh,
And really, it's just it was hot in Great American Ballpark, or it was
Oh,
cold.
okay.
Maybe it was the cold. Oh man, I can't remember now. All right, Noah got a Scherzer and Verlander value stack. He's taking the old man Mets duo. All right, so yeah, a bunch of these pitchers go here.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have someone in the chat.
He was bad. He was
cold.
bad
Yeah,
in cold weather. That was his thing. I don't think it gets too cold in Seattle.
I was gonna say, well, yeah, I don't know. You would think Seattle isn't Seattle. Isn't it like a little more north? But yeah, it can't get that much. Maybe in May, like, or you know what I mean? Maybe in like the start of the season, but like.
We missed Braves Never Lose jumping up Stanton here.
Oh wow,
so that is.
I love Nez's pick there with him in the back. Can you bring that back up? Him in the glasses in the backpack. That's legendary.
Yeah, just
look at him. Look
ring.
at him cheesing. Yeah, Nez, you need to change that to literally just you with the ring. Oh, that's legendary, man.
So let's see what. That's one thing I wish you could see on this board is their ADP.
Yeah. There's some UI changes that would be awesome. One, if you could click someone and still see the drop down after they're drafted. You know what I mean? Like you could click Austin Riley and still see the same stats that you would see.
Yeah,
on
you
board.
can if you type them in actually.
Okay, it'd just be okay. That's okay. Good to know.
Because
that is good to know.
It takes out players that you don't have.
Good to know. It'd still just be cool in the lineup if you could see that. Yeah. Then if you could do it while drafting.
All right, I want to grab an outfielder here, and we can talk after that.
What are you thinking? I've been snatching a lot of him.
These are the two: Seiya Suzuki, JD Martinez. I don't think so. It's not good, but I don't think people realize the sort of okay lineup that the Cubs have put together this offseason.
I have. I will say I have, as they are my not up there, but they're 7th highest stack team. I love mini stacks with them. They're very fun. Suzuki's been real fun. It was better when Swanson wasn't just, he was pushed back a little bit in the early bullpen days.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. And Ian Happ he's one of my top 3 owned outfielders because he's always around. He's always around after everybody takes all these the guys that you want, the high upside guys, like Carroll's gone.
Yeah.
JD's gone.
Did you have guys? So like Ian Happ was a guy that he started out pretty high in ADP. Not high, but at least higher than it was now. And I had a feeling he would drop, and I waited to get my Ian Happ exposure, and probably it's like 10 picks. So I don't know if it's that thing, but like I waited to get my Ian Happ exposure. So yeah, he dropped 22 picks from the start. So he was what? I'm trying to do quick math. Like pick 68 to start the draft or something like that. So I waited to get my exposure till kind of now.
Morrill is a backup. Sorry.
Was that CLT? Yeah. Is that CLT?
Yeah, he's a big Morrill roto guy.
Leave your roto takes out of here.
Happ is a safe guy. Man, it's tough not to it's tough to pass on these pitchers here.
I would do you.
Yeah, I'm throwing you.
I would do you, Kevin. Yeah, I would do you, Kevin. I have a ton of
Kevin Gossman and not a ton of you. So
I've started a lot of builds with Anchor you.
Yeah, and he's a guy that can definitely get there on length, and he's getting sort of he's getting older. But the thing that
I think the thing about old guys though is that they trust them more to go deeper, which they have. Yeah, which they have the like more likely. I mean, obviously you have to be good, so you can't just say older guys in general, but like you have to be good. And that's what we're mainly talking about is these good guys, but like then they have the chance to get that win, and he's on a good team. I'd like to think. I mean, the Padres have a good lineup, good team that's going to
Maybe
be
the best.
Yeah, like so.
If all things hit right.
I've seen a lot of people talking down on the Padres and like all this stuff and like all this lineup, and they're going to blow it up at the deadline. I'm like, what? And all this stuff, and I'm lost. But anyway, I think I think they have a great team. So just again, my thing about targeting pitchers on solid teams that just give you better chances at wins and quality starts. So
exactly. And the other thing I was going to say about him is that the negative thing about him always was he throws all these pitches. That's not the negative thing, but he throws so many different pitches that he would get into games where he would just start trying to throw all of the different pitches, and he never had control of one of them well. And he sort of shucked that off last year, and just like that wasn't a problem.
You're talking Gosman or
no,
Darvish?
Yu Darvish. Like he used to have a control problem, and that sort of has gone away as he's started using his pitches better. All right. So, what do we got for builds here? We got Braves never lose with a one pitcher, good outfield core. Well, any outfield with Aaron Judge is a good outfield core, but yeah, pretty even build so far. MVP TC started with 3 infielders, 3 pitchers. So he's probably going to have to make up outfield in volume where they are. Let's see. Go Blue is pretty even on his picks. Bop is pretty even. There's nobody really doing anything drastic here.
Yeah, I'd be the one in this draft that would be all of a sudden you'd see, and Numi's here still have yet to take an infielder.
Welcome, Paul.
What's good, Paul? How's it going? I think Paul filled out the final draft in that last one. He was, you gotta love when you're in the Discord chatting and you get you see all of a sudden the notification pop up like one more this, and you're like, you switch the Discord app, like hurry to Underdog Fantasy, jump in the contest, and it just says draft starts soon. You're like, let's go.
All right. We are going to let's see. I'm going to take where are we at in ADP? I don't really want a pitcher after our 3 guys. I'm going to take, based on who we took,
I like that,
in outfield so far with the Jordan and Suzuki, who are kind of safe picks. I want to put in our home run long shot here in Tyler O'Neill.
I like that.
Who is the narrative hit on him this year is that he's lost muscle, and he is he's focusing more on flexibility and all that kind of stuff, because the thing with him always is just how big his muscles were, right? And he was always missing time. So, oh man, look who's here!
Oh, no way!
There he is. Hello, Nez.
You're on your laptop mic, brother.
StreamYards.
Every time.
These guys are pros, everybody.
I go into the lobby. Do I sound okay now?
You sound good. It's your pick.
I come into the lobby, and I know for a fact I'm on my little podcast mic, and it always kicks me off. It's unbelievable. We're going Logan Webb here, but I once I saw the Tyler O'Neill pick, I had to come in.
There we go.
You were right. It's his big muscles. It's his big freaking muscles, and he can't stay healthy. But
so has he just been doing yoga or what? He's been
stretching. The yoga
and
narrative.
So instead of he's the opposite. Oh, so you're up here.
So I'm taking Christian Walker here. There's this group of guys, Adames, Walker, Crone, and
Vinny
Nate
P?
Lowe at this ADP that like I end up with like one of them on every draft just because they're all like spike week guys.
That's so funny because you end up with all of one of them, and I end up with all of Vinny P.
Well, we don't need to get into that debate tonight, I don't think, but
no, it's just funny that like you're like you named every single person around him, and like I end up with one of each draft. And each draft I leave with Vinny P.
I was such a Nate Lowe truther last year. Oh my gosh,
he did us so good.
He did.
Year.
God, that was
like
fantastic.
20th round or something like last.
Super. It's pretty
18th?
late.
Yeah, 18th, 19th, something.
I can't remember exactly what it was, but he was. I mean, he was one of the biggest advancers in the Dinger finals or in all of the playoffs.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he was such a big contributor when it not only in the regular season but when it mattered too. So it is kind of a bummer to see this ADP so skyrocketed, but you know, it makes sense. He's a good player and the lineup is good. So,
man, you know what? You know, they bring out the big contests and all the riffraff shows up.
Oh no,
sheep, you're covered up now.
Oh, the overlay. How do we?
My banners. I'm not a pro at this yet.
The banner's so sick too. I don't want to like
dominated by the banner.
Welcome. We have
welcome to overlay. How I know how it feels.
Here, let's. Well, everybody can see my account that I was trying to hide. I just feel I don't know. That feels tacky. I don't know.
I know. It's always if you can help it, but it's okay. It's okay. We're all
done on my account on the After Dark. Whatever happens after dark stays after dark. So,
anyways, let's welcome our very special guest.
What's going on, Chris?
The data analyst himself.
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Excellent.
I just came off a double shift from a Pittsburgh Pirates Twitter space. So I tell you what, man, I'm hanging in there.
Throwing stones right as the space was starting. And that was just uncalled for aggression by him.
Dude, you're right. Just absolutely rude. Just has no idea how hurtful he is.
He's probably pre-gaming ready to go to a freaking Canucks game. So like he doesn't give a crap. Like, yeah.
Yeah, the invitation was open to him, but he big time us for going to a Pucks game.
Yeah, no way he's gonna miss his boy is going to the barn, huh?
Yeah, that's what he said. He said he's going to the barn. I'm sure he's having fun, but I'd rather be here on a Friday night. I don't know about you guys.
Sheep live in the barn too, so.
Such a stereotypically Canadian guy that John is.
Chris, I have something I need to ask you that we just figured out at the beginning of this. We'll wait until after we get these two picks here. We're kind of at the turn with our boy Nezzy. Are you back home? Can you draft now, or you're back at the Never Land of drafts?
I'm back home, so I'm in the
How many slows did you register for?
100. So
let's go.
We're loaded up. Yeah,
my man. I love that. Okay, well, I'm gonna periodically join some slows then, just to
all right. I think this might be my first draft of Cody Bellinger.
Oh, John would be clamoring for the swing doctor.
Are you doing it for a bit, or like, can you give a little thesis on your pick there?
I'm putting him with Seiya Suzuki.
There you go.
That's really the tiebreaker there.
Sure.
We've already ruined Lars Nootbaar ADP.
Never again. I'm not taking him here.
I can't do it.
No. What is my average ADP for this man? Because my average ADP is 150. We will take that. That is unbelievable.
Yeah. So Fantasy Sports Dave, by the way, he joined our Discord and he's been like such a loyal a fan of the show since Numi, John, and I started Badge Bros. Just real quick, he went to college with me. That's a Slippery Rock University alum. So you better put some respect on his name.
What is your mascot? Slippery Rock what?
The Pride. So it's a lion. Rocky the lion. It's not just like an inanimate stone with a face. It's an actual lion.
Let's go. All right, you're up. Who you taking?
I am up. This is a tough spot, but I'm a Kershaw guy, dude. I'm still a believer that Kershaw has value to give.
I'll need to
a
get
fantasy
you guys
team.
will just need. I'll need to get off my stubborn bias on some players and just start reading the explanation for these and just hear it out at this ADP, because like I see a George Kirby, I see a George Kirby, a Morton, like a Lance Lynn, and I'm like, how could you take Kershaw over any of these guys? When
I think I'm in good company with Chris and Sheep that might potentially have some nice things to say about Kershaw. I don't know. Well, maybe we'll see. What do you guys think?
I'm pro Kershaw. I'm pro Kirby. I think Kirby is I love Kirby in this section of the draft. But I think the pro Kershaw point, I'm gonna steal a Sheep point from the other day. It's
right.
you're kind of it's already factored in like that he's going to miss time. He's going to miss time in some spots, but when he's around, the like effectiveness and the efficiency of the innings he's going to give you. He was, I think, one of the best players in the playoffs last year because he had 3 or 4 like lights out starts. So that would be the pro Kershaw case.
The negative Kershaw case though, recently on Rates and Barrels, Eno was looking through Kershaw's game log from last year. Saracen noticed that they, without really saying it, they kind of put him to pitching every 6 days, even when he was active. So like he's probably never going to give us a 2-star week.
Yeah, that's definitely a good point for the people watching. Probably not a great pick at ADP because of that. However, he can definitely provide value as a floor in your rotation, but probably a little rich if he's like almost a lock to not pitch 2 starts. If that holds true, then I think he's a good fade.
So that was my main thing. Is my bear case was how much innings is he going to get at that price, and is he get so? But I mean, I understand all of that, and I mean he fits the old pitcher, gets anything. It's just like how much will he get with that? Chris, you want to say something?
Yeah, he was your 4th pitcher there, Nez, I think.
Yeah, I'm going pretty heavy right now on pitcher early. It's my first fast draft, so want to get off on the right foot.
So I like him as 3, 4, 5.
That's fair.
6.
It depends.
Like,
I guess the context of where you're putting him in your staff does matter.
100%.
So one thing I want to ask you is that Sheep just.
Before we go, let's hit some chat here. We got some trolling Nez. It's let's just say it. It's not fair. Like, as you already have the bad team, and then everybody wants to troll you on top of it for supporting them. That's not nice.
That's what I'm saying, man. Just give me a little bit of a break. That's all I'm saying. just give me a little bit of a break. But it honestly doesn't matter because sticks and stones can break my bones, but steamer projections keep me up at night. I'm just tucked in with my steamer projections. Like Cal Mitchell, over 100 WRC plus. I bet he does. Jack Sawinski. Ooh, yeah, that feels nice.
Show us your Jack Sawinski shares, please.
All right, Paul is into the slows, and Andrew's got some local Pittsburgh shade going on here.
So yeah, let me let you guys know. IUP is a member of the PSAC, which is like the SEC.
Excuse me.
Dead ass.
I'm gonna have to mark.
I don't care what you are.
Pennsylvania's D2's conference is called the PSAC, so it's basically the SEC of the East, and it's a phenomenal sports conference.
SEC of the East.
Google it.
If John was here, he'd be having a field day with that comment. Oh my God, I'm not gonna let you get away with that. Oh yeah, sorry. We're just this is a sheep draft and just a bunch of nonsense comments.
Oh, that's all right. That's kind of what I'm into tonight to kick off this season. I did.
Draft is going fast. I can't believe we're already in Blackman territory.
Max likes him in Best Ball and Jay's World Series talk. This seems like this is one of your friends, Chris.
Yeah, you want me to tee this up as the only person here with a playoff baseball team that they cheer for? The bull case is the fences are in, but the fences are up. So balls are gonna fly. And Varsho, that's a good pickup, helps the defense. Kiermaier helps defense. Teoscar, guy can hit, absolute sieve in the outfield, and it just wasn't. It was never discussed because the guy has like 100% approval rating around here. They picked him up for basically nothing, turned him into a 4 or 5 like above average all-star bat. But like it was real rough out there in the outfield. He wore those like half up stirrups too, and it just didn't help. He was like a dead fish out there.
Oh,
So
John's
going
having a
from
field day about the half stirrups. Oh,
no, that's just a rough look. But the other big thing is just completely Xing out the like Raimel Tapia, Lourdes Gurriel ABs. Like that is such a addition by subtraction because those guys were just an absolute pit of despair in left field. And like the Gurriel, I've seen some people out there touting him as like a late kind of outfielder volume guy. Maybe wrist injuries sapped some power last year. I don't know. I feel like he's the guy that's going to get squeezed eventually in that Arizona outfield, and I'm just not. I don't buy the skill set being like what we're looking for at that range of the draft.
Yeah, I think there's some case to be thought of that they could even try to sell him again at the trade deadline. I haven't heard anybody really say that, but like they just bring him in, they showcase him, and then he kind of hurts the young guys for a little bit, but then they just sell him. I don't know if that's.
I could see that. I could see that. I mean, Lourdes Gurriel definitely has a spot on a lot of rosters. But I think what like Chris is saying is like absolutely right. If he does play well enough to like earn playing time, how much of that is like sticky versus just him getting hot? So, oh boy.
Listen, if you want to,
Lord,
I've threatened. This is the second time I've threatened somebody with this on my show. I will show you my Nate Pearson lineups from last year. They did not go well, let's just say. I mean, almost as good as my Michael Kopech lineups, but
hey, man.
I mean,
don't...
at least Kopech like threw the ball in the major leagues a couple of times.
Oh man,
we can still cling on to those Kopech shares.
Yeah, that's a guy I'm just ignoring this year, and
everybody is, thankfully. Like, I'm glad I don't have to like battle potentially taking him with my last pick because I don't even want to see his name.
Your highest exposed player in all of best ball wasn't a guy that isn't. I don't even think he's on a roster anymore. And Miguel Sano. Miguel Sano.
Oh,
yeah. Oh, he hits with the oh brother. Yeah, is he on a team?
Isn't that Jose Miranda's dad?
He is a free agent. Yeah, he is yeah. It was a tough year for the Newman household in MLB Best Ball. Let me tell you that. We didn't do well with the allocation to all of the Twins.
I'm glad that you were like the guinea pig for 956, and now we know that it doesn't work.
Never again. Never again. Yeah, never again. Okay, so I need to ask you this, Chris, because and Nez, I don't know if you've noticed this. The Dinger last year, I know it was 25, and I knew it was the shortened season. The Dinger last year was 4,500 people, 4,100 people. The bunt was only 1,100,000 people. This is 56,000 people. So like, have you just now considered that maybe even though we have 1 year data, that it's now even more irrelevant because of how small it was? Or it's still helpful, but it's just like, or have you thought of just the way we're applying it we need to apply it differently because of how just large this tournament is?
Yes, that's a really good point. I think the best way to describe it would be like helpful but not gospel, because I think it's very easy to like take 1 year of concrete stuff and be like, all right, it happened, it happens again. But that's really not the way these things work. And yeah, we're literally like the Dinger last year was one of the mid-sized tournament between the bunts probably. And now we're 10xing what the actual size is, and that's gonna just open the door for so many different things to happen. And I think it's a scary top in the Discord was, pointing out all the differences in structure for like what does the 2 out of 12 mean in each of the rounds. And I think it's probably gonna eliminate some of the wonkiness of like the 1 out of 6 pods, but it's gonna end up with this large final. And I feel like a lot of the teams might be a little bit more similar. If you have to get like a 2 out of 12 twice or 3 times to get there, I feel like that's gonna narrow it down a little bit. Whereas like last year's Dinger final was like Judge, A couple other guys were pretty highly owned. Framber was super highly owned. Then it was kind of flat. I feel like this year we could see a couple more guys that just like go nuclear in the playoffs and carry teams.
Yeah, because like the warm up is nearly double the size of the dinger. Like it's only 700 less than the dinger, or like the 2 times the dinger. Like it's just absolutely crazy.
And I feel like from what they've said is that once the warm up fills and like there's a bit of a gap, they're just going to keep running them pretty much until the season. So that'd be sick if they could run these like multiple $3 tournaments, because I feel like that is the perfect entry level price point, because you fire away, especially if it's a 10 max, like there's $30, just throw in your 10 entries, and like it's a great way to kind of get people onboarded.
Yeah, totally
Ooh,
agree.
John Gray, I like that pick.
So I haven't really talked through many of my picks here, but I took a really expensive Charlie Blackmon here. I like to grab one Colorado guy per roster at some point.
I'll take Blackmon until he doesn't do well.
Yeah,
I agree.
And then I took Eugenio Suarez. I'm just kind of building up a couple of these middle round home run hitters. Hope to get spike weeks out of them in Walker and Suarez. And then I took John Gray because I felt like I had a really nice solid base of 4 pitchers that, let's say Shane is not restricted. And, those guys are all good, solid, and take a shot here on a guy who's never really put it together. All right.
I like that.
We got a couple of good questions here in the chat. So who's your favorite undrafted pitcher so far? I agree. I am on Ashby, but I am biased there, and I don't know that it's good. I preach a lot of playing time and innings pitched when pitchers are concerned, and he doesn't fit that. So I can't really explain that other than.
I mean,
Yeah,
he's a good.
I
I mean, you watch him though. You watch him pitch, and you know
True.
when he starts, like and I think other baseball fans that have seen Ashby pitch know Ashby can pitch, man. It's just like, what are the Brewers gonna do? Are they gonna give Eric Lauer starts, or are they gonna
Wade Miley?
Yeah, they got Miley in the mess now.
So it's just like, what are they gonna do? So I don't hate it. It's just like, now that like Chris has ruined me with all this data, it's like, what does a late round pitcher that like does well, like what is it doing for you? And it's
Right.
like, wow, it really feels like they're not doing shit unless you have like a zero pitcher type build where you are propping up your pitcher position on the like literally just like 6 guys picked after pick like 160, and one of them just so happens to be, in your instance, an Aaron Ashby that matches like a pick 100 type player that gets you there, that helps that pitcher position not drown you. It's an interesting take. It's an interesting thought, but I like that call.
That's where this question kind of comes in with the previous question, like thoughts on Grayson Rodriguez. Like, I think the playing time risk on Grayson Rodriguez, who's going here where I took John Gray, and then if you take it's like a same, like Grayson has obviously ace upside. He's a young kid who with a lot of promise, but he has just as much playing time risk as Aaron Ashby, who you can get down here. And I'm more likely to take a risk like that style at the end. I know.
I like that.
That makes sense.
Some guys I like late, just undrafted right now, are Eduardo Rodriguez and Sonny Gray. They're just fun names. I don't know, not fun.
I don't think either of those names are fun.
Fun, but I mean, they're guys that are most likely going to eat innings. They can go deep. I would say asterisk on a Twins pitcher for going deep in a game. But yeah, I think Eduardo. I don't know. I thought Nez was kind of somewhat on him. He said, but
Yeah,
you're
preaching to the choir.
Yeah, I think last year was I'm treating it, and I'm going to do a lot of weird like analogies, but like an illness type weird personal reason that someone's out for in any daily sport. It's like they come back. It's like, oh, are they going to be the same or anything like that? It's like he was out, not with an injury, but legitimately for personal reasons. We don't even know still, I don't think, what for. Didn't even have a full season. I totally get Detroit's not a good like baseball team, but it's the park dimensions. It's the park upgrade that we all imagined last year. It's the same thing, but now this year, and he's going completely undrafted. So that's my bull case for him. I can hear all the bear cases for it. Don't get me wrong. And then Sonny
I don't
Gray
think his ADP makes sense personally.
It doesn't have an ADP if you click on him. If you just type in his name.
Yeah, because you know why? You really want to know, and like I'm like dead ass. I was the only one I think taking Eduardo Rodriguez, and then I stopped taking him. And so now
quite a bit.
So now nobody was taking him.
I had
maybe we both stopped at the same time.
I think the ADP is I'm not sure what happened going between the contests. It's a little bit different.
I think it was like a rolling average.
Okay.
And then they've just carried over with whole numbers for this contest.
Okay. I'm going to take the anti Lars Nootbaar here and take Dylan Carlson, who
I like that.
If you actually think about it, they probably should be swapped in ADP just based on guaranteed roles. Like Dylan Carlson had a terrible season. He hurt me a lot last year, but he's still.
Isn't he the Juan Soto blocker? Isn't he the reason? The reason they wouldn't trade? Isn't that the whole story? They wouldn't part with Dylan Carlson. So that's the reason that the trade never went through.
All right, we got a couple of names here: Eric Lauer, Brian Bayo, and Cal Quantrill. Anybody have any opinions on those guys? Any one of those?
No, that's the thing, man. I like so many late round pitchers. I like so many of them that I don't think are bad pitchers. And yeah, they don't have elite upside, but like
I agree.
I you're right. These are all guys that like with your last pick, if you're good at with your offense, take them.
But it's just like, what do they do? What do they do to your team? I keep that. That's the thing that you, Chris, have keep like with your data and what you've shown. It keeps coming back as like, what overall, like what actually is this pick doing right here? And then what overall is these picks doing like in just in any general, but like especially this pitcher, like you know what I mean?
Ketel Marte was a smash there. I love that pick. Speaking for my good personal friend Cal Quantrill, he's like I think a good enough reasonable major league pitcher that he's going to get innings in Cleveland, and Cleveland is a pitching factory, and I trust kind of their development and their process and their system to kind of extract absolute like maximum value out of these guys. But then exactly we come back to the point of even if Cal Quantrill like hits, what is like the actual marginal gain that you're getting out of him as your. Now I do like that Paul kind of couched it by saying Cal Quantrill as your sixth pitcher, and I think that would be like a Cal Quantrill as your sixth and stop, or Cal Quantrill as sixth, and then maybe you tack on a seven if you weren't feeling great. But I think where people we went kind of off the path last year was hitting like 6, 7, 8 in 18, 19, 20 and like loading up with these late round guys. I think one is okay. Like I think you can take your one shot, draft as if you're right, and then like rely on a guy like that to eat some innings and fill a spot, but you don't want three of them clogging up your bench and maybe contributing a week every other.
Yeah, perfectly said. I agree. And yeah, and any of those guys, Eric Lauer, Brian Bayo, Cal Quantrill, they all have their negatives, but they all have. You can tell a story that one of those guys hits. Like
it's the evil you don't know, versus the evil you do with some of these guys. And yeah, the upside, because we haven't seen it. Like maybe they do become like absolute studs, and then in the playoffs they're striking out 8 guys and getting a quality start. Maybe. I mean, that's what I would tell them if they want to hear like something good. This K Dorner guy, I don't know if you've seen his team, just absolutely off the rails.
What? Okay. I said there was nobody doing anything crazy, but
getting a little weird.
I wonder if they're auto drafting.
It looked like it looked like that individual was consciously choosing their players. but I don't know. I actually don't know for certain. I wasn't keeping that close of an eye, but
they have a large infield.
It reads like an auto draft.
Yeah, it reads like just straight projections, filling infield spots.
So yeah, let's see. We got a few more questions, kind of along that line. What are your favorite kinds of team builds? And for me, the simple answer is my favorite kind is to mix them up. At this point, I don't want to get tied into one type. Numi's laughing because that's exactly what he did, but I just want to mix it up and build based off the first couple of picks. Like maybe I'll have a plan going in, but it's really the first couple of picks and how I'm feeling and just kind of trying to mix it up.
I think that's a really good point, is like seeing how the first 4 or 5 picks play out. And then from there, like that really does drive the rest of your draft. And it should. And it should for a lot of people. I don't think we should be going in passing up some absurd value at infield, for example, where that's a very popular position to fade at the beginning of drafts, where if you have some absurd infield value staring you in the face, don't ignore it. You just react and build differently and understand the capital that you're allocating to a certain number of positions. So I think that's sharp. I don't think that's like that's the right answer is that. But I mean, if I had to tell a new drafter how to build, I would probably say maybe lay off infield at first, just because of the positional scarcity. But that doesn't mean it's my favorite, because everybody's doing that.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Is if everybody's doing one thing, it just drives up the prices of outfield, and you got to figure out if you're going to pay it or not. And then based on that decision, that's how you build the rest. You don't like if you whoever you pay up, I don't know. And sort of rambling here, but the best way, if you wanted to like try something weird, like what Numi's about to tell us what his favorite build is, if you want to try it, go to that $3 contest and see how it feels actually drafting it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah,
you're
I
muted.
think for
You're
yeah,
muted.
I mean, so yeah, it's not my favorite. Yeah, I mean, it's my favorite build. Yeah.
What's
the
that?
funnest.
The 5-pitcher. It's the most fun is the 5-pitcher build. And I've gotten crazy with it too. In terms of it, with the length I've go to the pitchers that I'll put in the 5-pitcher build. But we don't have to get into that. But we have previous videos. There's previous things if you want to like get into the full length of it and listen to us talk 30 minutes into the whole theory of 5-pitcher builds. But I think 5 and 6 are just fun builds. And then obviously, like Nez said, is just skipping. Oh, did we just?
That was a emergency pick there.
Okay, I was like, was
This
I
is
rambling?
my first draft of Hayden Wesneski.
I don't even know who that
I
is.
was just gonna say, am I supposed to know? I was gonna go along with it, but you don't know either, so I'm not. Who is that guy?
He is a Cub.
He's a Cubs
I can
pitcher.
see that.
Oh
man,
he can make the starting rotation.
I'm going into Google and typing in Hayden Wesneski Fangraphs.
He is an Eno guy.
Oh,
but
I like Eno guys.
But he is an Eno guy for Roto, late round guy that you can drop if he's not getting starts. So
okay. So yeah, sorry, that was probably me rambling about 5-pitcher builds, but yeah, now I'm gonna be going down a list of, and I'm just gonna be listening to Rates and Barrels and finding Eno guys the entire night. So I know what my agenda is.
Yeah, and he made some noise on the DFS side of things last year, and
yeah, so really nice small sample, really nice.
I put together this old man combination of Charlie Morton, John Gray, Adam Wainwright, and I thought I needed to average out the
age of the staff.
Age of the staff.
I love it.
Well, congrats on giving him an ADP.
You're welcome. You can thank Eno for that.
Yeah,
I honestly.
That's good. That's great.
I was actually looking for Marcus Stroman to join the old older pitcher, boring guys. But
Dude, I had so much Stroman last year. I need to, yeah. I mean, I don't know why I shouldn't have him this year. What do I have him at? I have to keep
All
like
right.
referring to my.
Here is a excellent question that we will throw over to Chris, and who he's got his Twitter. I don't have the names on here. Well, so you just shout out your Twitter then and answer this question. I know you ran some data on last year, and you've done the previous year on correlation and what we thought and where we are at on that.
So the big one, if you're coming over from DFS, is obviously stacking hitters in the same lineup to try and capture some of the upside that comes with just the way that baseball works. A guy hits a homer with two guys on base. That's two guys get runs, two guys get RBIs. Like, everyone kind of builds off of each other. It's a game where, things can compound, and you can really like help build your leverage by stacking up hitters. And I think last year that was one of my two big kind of stances last year, where we should be stacking more and we should be taking pitchers earlier. And I think I was vindicated on the pitchers earlier part, but I think the stacking one isn't nearly as important overall as I had initially thought. But then just that was anecdotally, like last year in the playoffs, it never really felt like we went into a round and we're like, fuck, I need this stack to like come through. It was always individual players or individual 2-star pitchers kind of thing. But then when we ran the numbers on the stacking stuff last week, and put it out on Twitter at baseball with 3 for an E, just like the sheep here. But the stacking numbers in terms of like the more guys you had kind of stacked, and mini stacks, big stacks, didn't really matter, but there was like a consistent upward trend in terms of, you stack some more guys, you do kind of better compared to the field. I don't know if I really like believe that fully to the way that I believe kind of the pitcher stuff that we've looked at. So I think our current like meta strategy when it comes to stacking is like, you can put together some mini stacks, 2-3 guys from the same team, add in a couple teams, lean on some of the highest scoring teams, lean on some of the teams that have great playoff matchups. Like, I think those are really the best ways to leverage stacking. And I think that it's a nice to have, not a need to have. Like, I wouldn't be kind of reaching out of the way to complete a stack or to build a stack. I think it's kind of the thing that if it's like it's a tiebreaker essentially between two similar guys in a similar spot.
Yeah, I like it.
That's very well said.
I was definitely putting a big emphasis on it, and I don't think any of my like majorly stacked teams made it very far. But I mean, I know Sheep last year was really heavy on Phillies, and the process was spot on. I mean, really good offense came to fruition. It's just like the results. I mean, just they kind of had like a slow start. Am I wrong?
They had a slow start, and then they were also slow in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. Like outside of Harper, they were pretty slow. And
JT, JT turned into God, but like,
right. That's true.
That was it.
The thing you got to remember for Underdog is the scoring period is a full week. So if you stretch like a team's production out over a full week, it becomes harder to like build that kind of compound. Guys can have hot games together, but it's tougher for them to sustain it over like 6 to 7 days and have that be like a meaningful impact. And then you look at a playoff round, which is two weeks put together, it just kind of dilutes the overall like effect of correlation that you'd see in a typical MLB lineup.
Clip that, like just clip exactly what you just said, and anyone's thing to stacking, just put it into a little that's beautifully well said, because like, so I mean, that's why I'm on the mini stacks of 2-3. A good team, I'll go 4. After talking with Sheep, he shows me his freaking Houston Astros exposure, so I'm like, well, Jeebus, like my last 15 slow drafts, it's been like jam Altuve and Bregman nonstop and get the mini stack. But I just like, I mean, of Astros, Braves, Mets, any of the good teams, I'm fine going 4 guys, but I like to keep it to 2 to 3 if I do mini stack and then do a bunch of them together and kind of do that. That's been the way I've been kind of going about it.
Yep, Astros are my Phillies for this year.
Roger.
Which is silly because you don't have to talk about the Astros and say they're good, but
I mean, hey, if you're gonna take a bet on a team, I mean, I'm not. No one's gonna fault you there. I don't really have like a team I'm stacking too much, I guess. Oh yeah,
Yeah, that's right. Girardi getting fired was the thing.
It was the catalyst. That'll do it.
So we just got to find the good team with a manager that's not the White Sox, because La Russa got like later on, but we just need to find a good team that has manager issues that'll get fired, and then they'll just heat up and just stack them nonstop. Simple, right?
Easy game.
Easy game. Right on.
Easy.
Sounds like the Twins and Rocco Baldelli to me. Just kidding.
Let's see. We got Story ended up going undrafted in that, which is interesting.
Good job, everybody.
I think that's correct.
That's crazy.
Fucking Dubes was right. Never forget.
All
Never
hail.
forget.
All hail, Dubes.
That's unbelievable.
Let's see. We got one more question here. Let's see. Am I freezing here? I guess for this, I don't care. in some aspects. Like
if you had to rank it though, I mean,
okay.
We can just kind of name some names. I mean, obviously, like you said, the Astros are going to be a really good offense.
Bills.
The Phillies
I'm going to say the Blue Jays are a very big dark.
I just said Trey Turner.
The Dodgers.
It's late.
Ohtani.
Sorry, Padres.
Sign him.
Padres, Mets.
The Braves. The Braves have a pretty nasty lineup too.
Braves,
yeah. So if we were to put up a definitive
Pirates, list, the Twins,
relax. So yeah, I think like you said, we said Astros, Phillies, Braves, Blue Jays. I think are up there, right? I mean, they kind of have to be.
Oh yeah. Any team with the Bo Bichette, Vlad, George Springer, like. We got Alejandro Kirk. We got Matt Chapman. I think Chapman's extremely underrated still. We won't have to get into that, but just in the drafts. But yeah, I mean, that lineup's pretty Varsho. We already have the Blue Jay guy talk about it. So
what were you saying, Chris? Who did we not name?
We haven't named the Yankees yet, which I would put them on the outside looking in. But yeah, still frauds.
Yeah, no matter what, they're always frauds.
Never going to give them their flowers.
Next ring, frauds. Yeah, didn't win it. Didn't deserve it.
These poor 12-year-olds or whatever the hell long it's been, they have never seen a Yankee championship. They have no idea. Too bad.
I think any team that has Aaron Judge could be a top offense, but he can't be the only guy. So they have, some guys coming up. The two Oswaldos, who I can't remember which is which.
Perez and Cabrera.
Young Aaron Hicks on the squad.
Is it Perez?
I just said
Peraza.
yes.
Right?
Peraza, yeah. Peraza. I always say Perez.
Cabrera. It's Cabrera and Peraza, right?
Yeah.
Because Oswaldo Cabrera played last postseason, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they both got some playing last year. And...
Okay.
All right. Do we want to go over the draft a little bit? I don't know. It's sort of off the rails here.
I made a very special last pick.
Oh boy, a very special Jack Sawinski, Connor Joe combo at the end.
Dude, that dude stacked Mad Pirates. Like I think
that's not you. I just thought that was you.
No, man. I think this guy literally went into his team searcher and typed in like Yankees and Pirates and then just queued them up and said GG.
No, he typed in Nez and then all of a sudden all of them showed up.
They just pop up for you.
Yeah, you're right. He's got
the first one that pops up is Luis Ortiz.
Pirates. He's got Corey Seager here, but then it's Yankees, Pittsburgh.
And then and then some Rangers, and then a Yankee. So he's just a stacking machine over here.
Even the pitchers. He's got the whole Yankee staff here.
I think he might have queued him up and maybe
minus
took a nap. I don't know.
I always love saying someone thinks this is a pennant contest. Like someone comes in here and thinks that this is you need a full team in the final.
That does seem overstacked. We lost Chris, but No, he's
Yeah,
bad.
it wasn't me. That was not me. Definitively
Was
not me.
me.
But
Yeah,
I
so
took,
you
I took
took
your
Mitch
boy
Keller.
there. Yeah, I took Mitch Keller, your boy, and also your boy Garrett Mitchell. But yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what to do with the outfielders in Milwaukee
Mhm.
outside of Yelich and maybe some Winker, just because there's so many guys, and there's guys coming up behind them, and I think it's just going to be a mix of playing time.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I took a smattering of outfielders because I took a coward's way out with Buxton. My thought is maybe Buxton's healthy for the playoffs, but not healthy all season, and I can get some insurance on him. But I'm dead ass serious with my Mitch Keller picks. By the way, I know that's not a bit. That is.
I know.
A bit.
No, I know. He did make improvements last year. I'm not denying that.
I'm not trying to sell you guys. I'm just letting you know this is real. This is real shit. I'm really in on Mitch Keller. I'm ready to get devastated.
Tweet the exposure.
Man, my Ronzi's worse.
Oof.
Lord.
He is. I will take. I will back your Ronzi Contreras play as a last round pitcher.
Thank you. You've seen a little bit of him, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, and he
seems like he should strike out more guys than he does with his like style of pitching.
Yes, and the biggest thing for me on him is that we had the year last year where they played with his playing time.
Mm-hmm.
He should have no restrictions on that. So
yeah, but it's just a matter of like, is he good?
Right. Yes. I already know that Mitch Keller has shown me that he's not very good.
It's just the matter of, is he good at the sport in which we're drafting him to play?
I wish if we could just get some like fastball rise data, like that would be nice. Like I want to know, like I don't think that's public necessarily. Like we get some spin rate data, which I guess is like you could pretty much like do some like 1-to-1 pairing like of the rise, but like
we need secret sauce. That's what we need. We need whoever talks to.
We do, and unless you have a friend in the industry, it's just like you're just like left just watching the games and like see who's getting swing and miss on their fastball. And Mitch Keller definitively was not getting swing and miss on his four seam, but he added the sinker, and then the swing and miss that he wasn't getting turned into ground balls. But
this is a Mitch Keller podcast now.
Bruh, listen. It's not easy to like add rise to a fastball, right? Like it's like if you read books on pitching, like to have a solid spin rate, that is not something that can be like taught. No, I'm not even talking about Mitch Keller, dog. I'm literally just talking about the art of pitching. But
the art of pitching.
It is an art. You can.
No, I know.
Artiste.
You started this with You started this by saying you weren't going to try to sell us on Mitch Keller.
Well, here's the thing.
Ended it with the art of pitching.
Forget you. The thing is, I know somebody in the industry, and Mitch Keller's rise on his four seam has increased. That's all I'm saying.
Awesome.
End of mic drop.
All right.
I rescind my oof on Ronzi because none of my slows have even come fucking close to the end of a draft. So I have no idea what the late round pitchers look like. So we were talking about them before, and I'm like looking through the sheet here trying to find something because I got nothing past like round 10 at the moment. So I'm great on the first half of drafts.
You're in heaven right now.
Yeah. It's gonna be fucking hell when because they all move at the same time. And so I've gone from just like being locked in on the first 18 picks to now I'm in the like pitcher zone. And then I'm going to get down to like the dregs of around 16, 17 in like, a month and just be hitting everything. So
you can be like, oh, great. I have 17 picks in round 17. This is going to be a grind. Here we go.
How many Rockies?
You should be able to distribute it well then if you're doing them all in a row. You can actually – that's one thing I don't like about slow drafts is I don't get an idea of where I'm distributing my picks.
That's,
Yeah, I just started.
very
I
fair.
started binging Trout and Jordan, and then I had to stop because I was just like I started looking through teams, and they were all like just Trout or Jordan
Yep.
between like 3 and 8 every time, and I'm like, fuck, I have a no Shohei Ohtani and no Julio Rodriguez. That seems problematic. So I've started to mix them in, but
Yeah, why does it seem bad to click Shohei over Trout? It's like, it's not that. It's for me. It's like it's literally a war with my fingers to literally click Shohei Ohtani's name.
it's awful.
All right. Well, we don't have to go over my draft. It was fine. It was kind of a average draft. But I just want to, let you guys shout out yourselves and let people follow you and all that. CLT Go Blue needs one more to draft with him.
Oh, Christ, whatever. Let me hop in here.
All right.
I'll do it for you post stream.
Somebody start.
Good.
Oh, Nui, where can find you and Nez daily during the week?
Oh yeah. You can find us at Badge Bros, or is it the Badge Bros? I forget our Twitter handle.
at the Badge Bros on Twitter.
So the Badge Bros. We couldn't get the official. We couldn't get it. They were asking a pretty penny to get that handle.
There's some LLC that owns Badge Bros right now. So
John is shaking at the Canucks game right now because you didn't know the proper handle. You just ruined his night.
Oh my God.
The branding, dude. It's off.
Yeah,
it's off.
Yeah,
He's gonna send you to media training.
Just like that. Yeah. He's shaking and calling me Bud 50 times. No, yeah. So you can follow us at the Badge Bros on Twitter, Badge Bros on YouTube and TikTok. I know if you want to do it there, but we stream daily at 12 p.m. Eastern time, Monday through Friday. And we got some things in the works. We'll be doing quite a bit of baseball in the upcoming future. So you'll be catching us. You'll probably see our content's been a lot of NFL focused. But as now the season switch gears, we're switching gears to, again, like I said earlier, God's sport, the best sport in all of America. Like Central Time Zone, the only true sport, baseball. So
yeah. What Numi said, I am on Twitter at Nez Takes. Lot of unhinged thoughts on there, but really just here to hang with the guys, chop it up, draft some baseball. So you'll see me in the baseball streets all winter, all spring. I will be there along with these guys. So Sheep, I appreciate you letting me come on and crash this.
Oh yeah, no, I'm happy you guys all showed up. It's made it pretty fun.
Yeah, it was a blast. I got the call from the pen, came running in, and here we go.
I thought I heard horns. I can see the laundry still behind you. You just threw it on there. You're like, screw that. We're just going right.
Yeah. Not my background. The Wi-Fi wasn't working, so now I'm plugged in. So I got the good stuff at the moment. But yeah, no, it was a great time. You can find me down here at Baseball on Twitter. Been on with these guys on the bro streams a couple times. Probably will eventually make my way back over as we get deeper into the MLB streets. I may be hopping on a couple other places upcoming to share the wealth of Underdog knowledge. But you'll find that on Twitter when it's actually out there. Twitter is where all the pretty graphs go, all the pretty numbers go, and then all the links in there to the sheets. We got the 2023 projection sheet. Gonna have some ranks in there eventually, because as fun as the projections are, what the real fun is when you can throw all the player names in and rank them out. We got lineups, we got rotations, everything's live, roster resource. It's good stuff. And then the data threads are kind of where I first started looking at that giant Excel file that Underdog blesses us with every year, and that's where the charts come from. So I'm in the Discord, I'm on Twitter, and those are the main ways to reach out.
All right, excellent. And you know me, I'm at Dark Sheep with some numbers and an underscore after. We'll be here most Friday nights as long as my schedule allows it, with various guests and ne'er-do-wells. So thank you everybody for tuning in, and let's have an awesome season on this huge contest.
Love it. Thanks again, dude.
Love it.
Thanks,
Appreciate it, brother.
Bye, guys.
Peace.